Hello, gorgeous beings. I am here in Asheville, North Carolina. And what are we talking about? Well, you guys, all of you in Heart Sparks, I thought it was time we had a little conversation together. And I would love for you to come and chat with me about this. So you can put your comments in the chat, and we'll do that thing. Let me see. Maybe one of you might want to come on live with me too. If there's a specific, and hi everyone, just saying hi. If you want to come on with me, you can let me know by putting a comment in the field, just waving at everyone. If I don't wave at you, don't be insulted because I'm on my iPhone. You know what I'm saying? So everyone, today I wanted to have a little conversation about self-responsibility. I think a lot of people that end up doing our work are very self-responsible. What do I mean by self-responsible? I mean that basically when something is off in your life or when something's not working, what happens is we look at it and we go, you know what, I wonder what's going on in my vibration. I wonder what I'm thinking. I wonder what thing from the past hasn't been resolved. I wonder what's going on. So we kind of take responsibility for these things that we perceive aren't working. And maybe you're someone like that. You can put a comment in the field and say, yes, I do that. And then there are the people, and you know them, some of them are in your life right now, and they point fingers. It's like when things aren't working, what they do is they say, well, you know what, the stupid government, or, you know, if I wasn't living in this apartment, or they point the finger at their husband or their best friend, or, you know, she's so pissed off, but that's really, you know, over there with her. So look and see what kind of person you are, what you tend towards. Usually when we point fingers at others, it's a protective mechanism. There's some people that have so many things they need to be responsible for. It really is, it's almost like they have an inside instinct that if they took responsibility for their whole life, they might have a nervous breakdown. I know lots of people like that too, right? So, hey, Jackie E. And so just have a look at your own self. See where you live about this. Then there's a whole other version of this, and I really want to bring it up with you guys. It's around what I'm going to call toxic self-responsibility. It's where we've done so many programs, so many courses, you've been to so many workshops, and what ends up happening is you've been taught so deeply that everything is vibration and everything reflects where you're at in life. You've been taught so deeply that you're responsible for what gets created in your life, that even when someone is misbehaving, or even when someone is being a colossal dickhead, or even when someone is mistreating you, you'll be looking at yourself for what you're doing wrong, and you'll be looking to change your own vibration without asking for what you need from the other person. Has anyone done this? Say yes if you have. It's okay, you can say it out loud. I promise you, cosmically, I'm still hearing you. So imagine what happens is that when the other person hasn't done all the work, like maybe it's your best friend, or maybe it's your boss, or maybe it's your sweetie, or maybe it's your whoever, when they haven't done all that work and they particularly don't really understand what self-responsibility is, what happens is it's much easier to go over there with you and go, yeah, I agree with you. There's something there. You definitely have something wrong over there. There's nothing wrong over here. And what happens is we start to now be so over responsible that we actually think we're doing our self-responsibility wrong because nothing changes. And sometimes it even gets worse because we don't ask. So when you start resenting another person and you've been trying to be completely self-responsible and you start resenting another person, there's a clue, right? There's a clue in that. If you start resenting the other, it's because you're not asking for what you need. It's because you're not making a request of the other person for something you need. I'll give you an example. So, the other day, I realized that I was doing all this stuff around the house because I'm around the house so much. So I was just doing stuff around the house, stuff around the house, stuff around the house. And I started to feel this little eye twitch with Adam, right? And he would come home, and he has an intense job right now because he's taking care of older people. So he would come home, and he'd be like, he would notice he was on edge, and so he would notice every little thing around the house that was off. And that's what happens when you don't offload your energy, right? When you don't like meditate or go for a walk or do something, right? And so I started noticing this little eye twitch starting inside of me. And I realized, and I started taking responsibility. Well, you know, that's my vibration. I have to feel better about myself. I got to do this stuff to make myself feel better. When really the thing that was presenting was to actually ask him, sweetie pie, I need you to take care of you so that your frequency is good when you get home. So whatever you need to do that, that's totally awesome. Because I don't mind doing all these things, but, you know, and then when I asked for that, he's like, oh, yeah, you're right. I wasn't doing that. And so all of a sudden, you know, it shifted. But you can't be, so listen very closely, you cannot be responsible for another person's vibration. I'm going to say that again. You can only be responsible for yours. So you can leave the space for someone to shift. But if they're not shifting because they're in their own little world, you actually have to open your big fat mouth, okay? Or big small mouth, or small mouth, or however your mouth is, I don't know. But does this make sense? Does it make sense to you, Gail? So when you start down the road of, I have a peanut gallery today of my dog and my friend Gail. So when you start feeling down the rabbit hole that something is building up inside of you, first you have to get to a state of neutrality, and you have to look if there's something that you need to ask for. Don't take everything on yourself like there's never anything to ask for. I hope this helps you today. I hope it has you be self-responsible in a way that's just not some internal self-responsibility, but that also involves asking for what you need. Truly looking inside yourself and seeing if there's something you truly need that you need to ask for from another in order to find your new flow. Okay? Your happiness isn't dependent on another person, but sometimes it requires that you bring someone else into the awareness of your life so that they understand what's going on for you, such that you can co-create new behaviors together. But you have to open your mouth. So for those of you that are a little afraid to open your mouth, to ask for what you need, and yes, I saw a couple of people say, in these times it's so relevant. What's so relevant, right? Because what we've done is we've kept quiet for so long in this world. And the universe, nature, is shaking our tree right now. And we're either going to get our butt kicked and then actually do something about the butt kicking. In other words, we're actually going to realize what's important to us as a result of what's happening in the world right now, and then do something to change the world in the direction we want. Or we're going to do what most people have done their entire lives, is have their butt get kicked and then go right back asleep and be so busy, right? Be so busy. And I'm so glad a couple of you are saying you opened your mouth. It's vulnerable, right? Right? So right now is a time to ask for what you want, but act on what you want. In every area. You won't be able to escape it because the entire globe is in that vibration. So if you're not doing that in your actual individual lives, what happens is it's not going to be congruent with the asking of the greater world itself. So whatever happens in the microcosm is also happening in the macrocosm and vice versa, right? It's really hard. It's really hard to do sometimes, especially more so for women, you know? So, all right, you guys, I love you. I hope this has been helpful. Love you very much. Be brave, be courageous. I'm doing the same thing. We're all out here doing our best. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be willing. That's all, my friends. So have some courage, be vulnerable. Love you so much. And can't wait for the next Heart Sparks call soon. Okay, bye for now.